Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back with another tutorial, this time on the RetroHrai front end for your Android emulators or your Android devices. So what is RetroHrai? RetroHrai is a relatively simple to use and straightforward front end for your emulator devices here. It has some very neat feature such as making all your games look like your gaming cartridges and the ability to spin your game cover art for your CD disc or your PSP ROMs. And most importantly, it gives you quick access to your screen brightness control and also your volume control. And this is cross-system. No matter if you're in-game or if you're outside of the RetroHrai front end here, you can still use the quick button to adjust your screen brightness and also your volume. So yeah, it's very handy for watching movies, watching YouTube, or even just playing games in general. I'll walk you guys through how to set this front end up from scratch. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first, you can actually get RetroHrai inside Google Play Store, but I think the version in the Google Play Store is a bit older, so I would recommend you getting the RetroHrai front end from the GitHub page. So what you need to do is just go into Google and type into RetroHrai. Okay, once that's done, you'll see a GitHub page. Click onto the GitHub page, scroll down a little bit until you see releases on the side here. Click into it, scroll down a little bit more, and then here you will see RetroHrai version 0.5.1.apk. The APK is what you want because that's the installation file. So I already downloaded it. What you need to do is just press on this and then it will start the download for you automatically. So just hit download and then wait for it to download. And once it's done downloading, just go into downloads, hit RetroHrai, install, and then open it. This is what you'll see when you first open up the front end. So here you can see that it has actually auto-detected a ROMs folder for me. I'm just gonna hit grant access, hit select this folder, allow it, and then there's another one. It found in my SD card. I'm just gonna grant an access again, allow it. And you see that it has two of my ROMs folder listed here. Continue. And then now this is the assets folder. What I recommend is that you create a new RetroHrai folder inside your system. So this is what I'll do. I'll go into the system, add a folder, call it RetroHrai. Hit done. Use this folder, allow it. Once that's done, you see that it automatically detected all the game ROMs that I have inside of my SD card and my system. So I'm just gonna select all, add selected. And here is where we add our accounts for the scraping. So we just hit set up providers. Here I'm gonna log into my account. And then this is the Steam GridDB keys. So you can get your keys from Steam GridDB website. I actually have mine saved, so let me just paste into it, continue. Once you're done logging into your Steam GridDB, it's gonna ask you to scrape all the platforms. I'm actually gonna skip this for now because I'm gonna do some other scraping later on. It will be a bit laggy if you start scraping at the very start. I would recommend not doing it. Unless you have like a lot of games, then you probably want to do this so it can save you a little bit of time with like maybe the metadata, all that stuff. But I'm gonna skip it for now. So hit B to skip it, and now we're in RetroHrai. All right, so the first thing to do is hit start, go into settings. All right, scroll down to controls. Actually, let's scroll down to dual screen first. If you're using a Thor dual screen device, you need to enable the dual screen mode here. And here you can choose what animation you want when it's swapping the screen from up and down. I'm just gonna keep it as default. Here you can set what screen you want when you scroll to the right. So here it has the wall view, which is this one. It will display your logos, your game logo, whatever information. And then the app drawer when you scroll to the right side. So You can rearrange them if you want. You can also add another widget board, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add the widget board in between drawer and also my wall view. What I do here is that I'll usually put a now playing widget, and for you to use this, you actually need to grant access to RetroHrai. Oh, and it's grayed out at the moment, but for you to grant access to stuff like this, when it's grayed out, it says restricted settings. All you need to do is just back out, go into your system settings, go to apps, find RetroHrai. Just click on the 3 dots on the top right and then hit allow restricted apps. Once that's done, you can back out, go back into your RetroHrai, and now you can see that it's not longer grayed out. I can now allow it, and that's it. Now, whenever if I'm playing a music on Spotify or if I'm playing a video on YouTube, there'll be a play, pause, and skip track widget that will show up here. But sadly, it doesn't display the YouTube video down here as like a mini screen. So yeah, I hope maybe they can implement this in the future, but I don't know how difficult that's gonna be. But anyways, moving on, you can actually add more stuff on the widget board. There are 4 different tiles you can set different things to, but for me, I'm just gonna keep it simple with just the now playing app. Now moving on to the controls, this is the second most important stuff you need to do before going into customizing the whole front end. So here, you can see that we have option to set our keys to be whatever we want. So I'm gonna keep it default using start to open the RetroHrai settings. To open app drawers, I'm gonna use Y. For swapping the screen, I'm actually gonna disable this because I don't really swap my screen every time I'm using my Thor here. And then I like to change the platform navigation from R2, L2 to R1 and L1 because it feels better to press, and then it's like easier to access and it's faster. It's a faster click is what I'm trying to say. Right now, moving on to the next tab, which is quick actions. So first, we gotta enable the accessibility service. Hit agree, click into RetroHrai, and use RetroHrai hotkeys. This is very important because it actually opens up a very useful feature inside the RetroHrai. So this is what I'm talking about, the volume control and the screen brightness control. So I'm gonna grant permission on this one too. All right, once that's done, you can see that every time I hit my select button here, I can adjust my screen brightness by using my R2, L2, and I can also adjust my volume with R1 and L1. Yeah, but it's not showing the volume for some reason, but I'm just gonna allow everything, allow the overlay. So yeah, this is very helpful because at least for my personal use case, yeah, I always found that going down here for the volume and then adjusting everything from this menu is kind of tedious. If I'm in game, you know, trying to like just quickly adjust the volume, it's always easier to just press on the select button and then do this. It's such an underrated feature. I feel like every front end should have this. Let's go to general now. You can see that in general, this is where we have set up the assets folder. You can set it to another one if you want to change it down the line, but yeah, once you set it up once, you don't really need to touch it again. Now emulators, here it's all automatically detected. Backup, you can back up your settings if you want, but I'm gonna skip this for now. All right, so moving on to appearance. This is where you spent most of your time just tinkering around with. So for the UI style, I like to go retro. And then here you can change the accents color. I'm not gonna do that. For screen orientation, you can lock it to landscape or lock it to portrait, depending on what device you're using. But I'm just gonna lock it to landscape for now. Scrolling down, you can see that we have fonts as well. My personal favorite font is actually the arcade font. So we're gonna do that. So this is where we choose our wallpapers now. For me, the top wallpaper, I usually go for the system wallpaper so I can use the wallpaper engine on the top screen. And for the second screen, I will use floating covers instead. So what that is that it will display all your games floating on the bottom screen when you're inside the system. So you'll see what I mean later. Scrolling down to background image effects, I like to keep those off. Background media, I also keep them off. So here we have full screen mode. It's on by default. I'm gonna keep it that way. And then we also have auto hide action bar. So the action bar is what's on the bottom here. I'm gonna auto hide it. You can also auto hide your platform list, which is what's on top here. I'm gonna not hide it. And also you can auto hide your system status, which I'm not gonna do. And that's it for the theme. Now moving on to platform, you can do that by hitting R1. So the platform browse, if you enable this, you can actually back out again from your game list. Yeah, you can see that I have some games here. And if you don't have that enabled, this will be your homepage. If you have that enabled, by pressing B when you're in this menu, you actually go back to this page. So this is where they call the platform list. You can select your platforms, for example, like 3DS, Switch, all that kind of stuff. So enable it. I'm gonna do slide view. You can also do grid. And for the foreground, I'm gonna show the icons. I'm gonna display the game count, random games, maybe not. Game preview, yes. Last played, no. All right, now moving on to games view. Now this is customizing all your games view, which is this. Once you're inside here, this is the game view. So you can set to sort by alphabetical or favorite first. I like to just do alphabetical. I will usually have another favorites tab set up. Right now, moving on to game view mode. This is carousel. You can also set it to grid. And one thing special about grid is that you can actually have a detailed pane on the side here, which is something like this. You can have it on the side either here or here, but for the Thor, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep it as the carousel. And then vertical alignment and then horizontal alignment. You can set it to basically aligning with the top, bottom, left or right. Title position. This is where the game title is gonna be at. It's gonna be on top of your game cartridge or bottom. I like to keep it on the top. Carousel scale. This is how big you want your game cartridge to be. Just put it at 85% maybe. Okay, and then animate active card. This one I'll keep on so that I can see which card I'm selected on. And also show card outline, yes. Maybe I'll turn this one on as well. Show metadata next to the title. So that's done. Let's back out and see what it looks like here. So we don't really have anything scraped at the moment, so you don't really see much, but let's go to platforms now. All right, so this is where I will turn off my all games, my recent games, my collections, and I'll move all those to the bottom so it doesn't confuse me. All right, now it's all moved to the bottom. I have the favorites on the front, 3DS, NDS, Switch, and then Windows. So I don't have all games on my Thor now. I actually made my Thor kind of just like a Nintendo game focus device. So I kept the buttons A, B, X, Y, the Nintendo style, but I swapped out my Retro Pocket 6 to be the Xbox style because I'm playing more Steam games on this and more Nintendo stuff on this one. So, okay, anyways. Once that's done, you can back out. You can see that the platform list, it's a lot cleaner now. It's got only the stuff you want. All right, now let's go back into the settings. Also, while you're inside the platform list, you can add your Android games and your Android apps to your front screen as well if you want to have quick access to them. So this is what you need to do. Just press add platform. Select a platform. You can click on Android. You can rename it if you want. And then I'm gonna choose the aspect ratio, the same as the others. So it's gonna be 2:3, Steam Grid DB. Hit save, and then you can go down to the pen icon, hit it. You can go to manage apps. And here you can choose what apps you wanna show up in your Android tabs. So I'm just gonna enable YouTube, Netflix, maybe Azahar. I don't know, I'm just gonna do this to showcase. I don't really have Android games on my Thor because I installed it all on my RP6 and also my tablet over there. So on here, I don't really have any Android games, but you can set it like that if you want to. And you can see that the Android games are showed up here. Now let's move on to scraping. So this is where you can choose what you want to scrape. I'm gonna uncheck the cover art. I'm also gonna uncheck the screenshot. I'm gonna uncheck the fan art. I'm just gonna keep the logo and metadata. And then I'm gonna hit scrape all platforms. Right here, you can choose either you wanna re-scrape everything, so it will like delete anything if you have scraped anything before. You can also choose to just scrape the missing parts, which it's all missing on mine at the moment because I completely wiped out the RetroHrai app for this tutorial. So I'm gonna scrape all missing, allow, and yeah, just wait for it. Providers, we've set that up already. Now go to achievement. This is where you can log into your retro achievement. I'm gonna do that off camera. All right, and now it's logged in. You can sync your data, test your connection here. Now moving on to audio. This is where you can set up your BGM, your background music, and you can also set different sound effects or different background music for all your different platforms, but I don't usually do that, so let's move on. All right, now moving on to overlays. I think this is the best function or best feature from RetroHrai. So here is where you can set up your custom cartridges. So for 3DS, I have actually made a cover, like a custom 3DS cover for it. You guys can get these covers from the link into my description below. Here is the 3DS cartridge. Once you selected it, you need to set the aspect ratio to 1:1 and then just hit save first. Okay, one thing before you start setting up your overlays is to at least scrape your first game. So what you need to do is that you go into your folder, hit select, go to covers, and then scrape, and then just choose like a random one. Okay, I'm gonna choose this one and hit apply. Why you need to set this for all the first game is so that you can see what your overlay is gonna look like once you applied it. So yeah, that's important. I'm just gonna quickly set all this. Apply, back out, switch, apply, back out, Windows, apply, and that's it. Right, now we can go back into overlays. And then now when you go into settings, you can actually see what your game's gonna look like. All right, now you wanna lower down the scale of your cover art for the 3DS. You can also move it left to the right to better align it. And you can also adjust the height of the cover. I'm just gonna leave it at the middle. You can also adjust the mask roundness. This is only for stuff like the UMD drive or PS2, like the discs here. I'll show that off later, but for now, let's continue with the 3DS and DS. Okay, once that's done, you can also choose to spin your cover or spin your overlay here, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna hit save, and then you gotta enable this tab here. And once you've done that, go out, go to your 3DS, you see the cartridge is applied. If you have a cover art for it, if you don't, then it's not gonna show. Now let's go back to overlays and set up the other ones. So NDS, this is DS. I also have a DS cartridge. Set it to 1:1. Set the scale to maybe around 78. Then bring it down a little bit because I wanna see more of the logo. Then save it, enable it. Now the switch. For switch, I have two versions of a cartridge. I have this, which is similar to the Steam cartridge that we'll be using later. I'm just gonna keep this for the demonstration. I also have the original looking, like the normal Switch looking cartridge if you want that. But that one's not gonna align with a lot of the cover art that you can scrape. So I'm gonna use this for the demonstration. Hit save, enable it. For Windows, same thing. I have a Steam cartridge. I'm gonna lower the scale to around 86 or 87. Enable it. Okay, back out. And now you can see that all my games have a cartridge. only the ones that's like scraped. But you can see they all have this very nice overlay on them now. As for the overlay for PS2 and PSP, I'm gonna showcase it here because I don't have PS2 and PSP game on my Thor. It's very easy. So same thing, go to overlay. I'm just gonna show you guys how I've set it up here. So for the PSP, once you have the cartridge, set it to 1:1. The scale is gonna be 100%. And then keep the horizontal position at the middle, everything in the middle. And for the mask roundness, you gotta maximize that. And then for PSP, you wanna spin just the cover and not the overlay. And that's it, hit save. And for the PS2, same thing, scale 100%, position default, and then the mask roundness, you want to keep it to 100% as well. As for the effect, you want to take both the spin cover and also spin the overlay, so it's spinning both together. So that's it, save it, and this is how it looks like. You can see that the cover art is spinning inside the overlay, and for the PS2, all right. And same thing, you can apply overlay for the Android games as well. And I also have a cartridge like this, but the bottom is green with Android on it. I have this cover as well, so if you guys want it, you can also find it inside my download link. So that's pretty much it for the settings side of things. Everything else is done, I guess, outside here from scraping. So this is where you'll start scraping your games one by one. This is what I like to do myself, to scrape it one by one myself, because I like to, I'm a bit picky as to what cover art I want to use for my games. So I like to do this one by one. But if you're lazy, you can always just use the scraping, the auto scraping feature. But again, if you're using the cartridge like I am here, you're still gonna need to adjust it if it doesn't fit, you know what I mean? So yeah, it really depends on you. I'm gonna do this whole setup thing off camera now, and then I'll show you guys what the end product's gonna look like. Alright, now that I've done scraping all my game art, cover art, there are a few more settings I want to tell you guys about. So on the bottom screen here, if you want to customize this, you have to tap the screen and go to the bottom second icon here. So here, if you don't want the logo, you can untick the logo. I want the logo. I also want to show achievement. I also want to show the description if I'm using the carousel, not the grid one like this, because this one already has the description up here. You can also turn it off if you want. Just have the genre, release date, developer, and stuff like that. Backing out from the games view, you can also customize the outside of the stuff. So in here, you see that the option is a little bit different. You can choose to show the titles, logo, icons, or none, which is hide. And then you can also have it show background or no background. I like to have no background. You can also have it show game count, random games, or last played. So this is what I like to set it to. And it will look like this with a last played game, also a random game button. On the top screen here, you can also find more settings by tapping onto the third icon here, and then you can actually set different display style for each of your different consoles. For example, if I want to just have the carousel for my 3DS, I can hit apply for 3DS only. If you have less game in your 3DS library, you don't want to have that whole list, you can do this, and then your other console will still have the grid mode. If you just apply it on the 3DS side, you can also do the same here. You can adjust the grid size to be smaller and then not show the detail panel, and then apply only for NDS, and then you'll see that the 3DS looks like this while the DS looks like this. So yeah, this is how you can access all the preference settings for the front end here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. One more thing, when you're scraping your game, that's also a good time for you to favorite some of the games that you like. When you have your game selected, press select, and then there's this heart here. Just tap on the heart, and once that's done, you will see the game appear on your favorites tab here. You can see that this is cross-platform. And also backing out to the platform list, it will just display 5 games that you favorited in alphabetical order. That's pretty much it. You guys have reached the end of the tutorial. There's this one last thing I want to show you guys. So outside at the game list view, you can actually customize the folder logo, icons, and background as well. So you just have to hit select, just like how you scrape all your game covers. But instead of scraping it, you can only upload the ones that you made yourself. So inside of my overlay pack, I'll also include some of these logos for different titles, such as DS, 3DS, Switch, and Steam. I also have a favorites title, and I also have PSP and PS2, I think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this setup tutorial. I'm actually testing out Cocoon 3.0 at the moment, but I still kept RetroHrai installed on both of my devices here because of this quick action feature alone. It's just so useful, especially on a single screen device like the Retroid Pocket 6 here, because you don't really have a second screen for you to adjust your brightness and your volume. You have to scroll down into the control panel, and that pauses your game, so it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I really hope maybe Cocoon could add this function. But anyways, RetroHrai to me is just a very convenient and very easy to use front end. It feels very much like my first setup with Beacon on top and Link's launcher at the bottom, but now it's just combined into one app. And then the app drawer also works really well. It categorizes stuff for you automatically, and you can also pin apps if you want to. So yeah, overall, I really like this front end. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm still trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. It would be very helpful if you could subscribe. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.